Good afternoon, YouTube. I am coming back to you in reference to what happened in Atlanta and around the city with the riots and the looting and the decision to try to make a change. Looking at everything that happened yesterday, even I'm just going to look at the locale here in Atlanta. We had several peaceful protests that went on throughout the day, but after 7 o'clock, 7:30 hit, those peaceful protests turned into not so peaceful anymore. They started with throwing rocks, eggs, knives, water bottles at police officers. And I had a video on this yesterday that spoke just trying to to reach the hearts of people so that they actually understand their actions and what they're doing. Today we are in a different headspace. So now that the riot has been completed and the looting has been done, I mean, what do we have? Like, if you really look at everything that happened up to this point and that's going on around the nation, everybody is trying to stand for something. But what are you actually standing for? What are you encouraging? Are you just encouraging that, oh, somebody can get killed and all you have to do is set some cars on fire, damage some property, steal some merchandise? The problem with all of that is that, number one, when you loot and you riot in those respects, all you're doing is hurting the situation even worse. So now what's happening is these major corporations that were broken into, AT&T, the CNN Center, these are large corporations that have expendable amounts of money. And you best to believe that insurance is going to cover everything that you guys damaged. So not only are they going to get everything replaced because they have insurance, but the message that you're sending is only putting you in more risk and more danger. So now that because of your actions, the police are on an extra high alert because they don't know what your intentions are. When you just stand and you go around and you do these things like that, there's no real way to identify what your purpose is for being there. Is your purpose really to uphold justice and peace for George Floyd and Arnaud Aubrey and the other young lady that passed away? I mean, is that really your intention? Is that really your goal? Because at this point, it's uncertain and unclear as to what the true intention was. Is it that you just needed some items and you wanted to go in and get you a new phone? So you thought that you would come down and just help tear up some stuff? It makes absolutely no sense because at the end of the day, you're not changing anything. What's going to happen is that the insurance is going to pay for what you destroyed, okay? And once the insurance pays for what you destroyed, the insurance rates will go up, okay? Because now companies have to pay more in insurance because they have filed a claim, all right? At that point, because the business itself is encountering additional expenses, they're going to pass those expenses over to the customer. So you're looking at increases in prices and services that you probably wouldn't have even had to deal with but for this situation. So here again, what exactly did you accomplish by going out and looting these stores and putting cars on fire and beating on stuff? Like, did you get your anger out, really? Because now, I mean, you just messed up all this money, which means that money is going to have to be allocated towards getting these things repaired and getting these things fixed. It's going to take time out of being able to deliver services like the vehicles that were used. Police officers are not going to be able to use them for a while until they get repaired. Granted, yes, they are insured, so there pretty much won't be too much of a cost for that. But then again, insurance rates go up, and when you have extra money that like it's just coming out of funds that are already stretched, we are already in a pandemic. The COVID-19, we're already encountering that, and then you go and do dumb stuff like this. Like, what is actually your goal? What is your intention? I just don't understand it. Here's the thing. If you really, really want to help George Floyd be remembered in a positive manner, if you really want to help make sure that the officers that are abusing their powers and authority in their job roles are not able to do that anymore, educate yourself. Okay? Find a group, find a mentor that can assist you in learning how this process works so that you can make a change that's actually going to make a difference. Okay? When you change the mindset of the people, and you change the way that people think and the way they do things, you change things on a whole different level. Going downtown in all of these areas says absolutely nothing. Setting fires on items or businesses says absolutely nothing, because those things again are going to be replaced. So my challenge and my question for you again is, what was your intention? What was it? Are you really trying to make a difference, or you just wanted to go and show your black ass? Yeah, I said it. Because at the end of the day, you're not doing anything that's going to make a difference. It's not going to make a difference whether you go out there. Actually, that's what they expect us to do. Instead of looting, let's go ahead and meet. Let's figure out some ways to deal with our anger so that we can get that anger and fuel that anger into passion to actually help something, for a cause, for a purpose. I mean, anger means that there is something inside of you that's burning a fuel for you to do something about it. But the way that we're doing things is not the way that it's supposed to be. Not saying that everything has to go, cordially, or you have to do it with decorum or anything like that, because it's ways around different things. But the first step would be to learn the laws. If a police officer knows that they're going to be subject to criminal charges and they are going to lose their lives if they do things, don't you think that that would be more beneficial and more of an incentive to just try to maintain the peace? However, when people go out and they act like that, throwing stuff at officers, bucking at the officers, trying to fight, doing all this, throwing knives and all this kind of stuff, that doesn't help you. In today's day and age, we are moving towards something called community policing. And community policing just means that now the police have a reputation of being very visible in the communities that they serve. So they're there to ensure that everything is safe, and they are prepared if anything is not safe. But their overall intention is not to go and just abuse anyone. It happens. It really does. But the way to change this is to, like I said, educate yourself. What laws are allowing officers and other people to abuse their powers and take lives? What laws? Okay? Let's challenge those laws. And in order to challenge those laws, you got to challenge the people who are making them. Okay? The people who are making the laws, they make it work for them. So if those laws that they have that are working for them is not working for you, then find you some people like you that agree with you. Y'all go ahead and do y'all research. Figure out what those laws are. Find out alternate resolutions to these problems. Go ahead and challenge those laws. Encourage change. Okay, get out here and let's talk to people on what it takes to make the law change, so that when things like this does happen, then the perpetrators are charged to the maximum penalty of the law, to the maximum extent. Okay, let's not just go out and start damaging stuff because you're angry. Yes, you have absolutely every right to be angry. I am angry as hell. I'm mad because it seems like we as a people are under attack. But when we go out and we act in this manner, it does nothing to help us. All it does is have everybody to shake their head. So I challenge everybody who was out there that were throwing rocks and bricks and only God knows what else at police officers to go talk to a police officer. Number one, let's find out some ways that we can not be so much of a threat until this calms down. Okay, but in all honesty, We are a threat because of the way that you guys acted. It's not without merit. I mean, if you act like a animal, then you get treated like an animal. Stop acting like an animal. That's the way that you handle this. Okay? I'm sure that everybody that came down to speak on behalf of, with Mayor Lance Bottoms, they were hurting as well. They were hurting. They were enduring so much pain, and seeing their people act like animals. It's such a disturbing feeling. Okay, it's like you can never move forward unless you address those issues within the people. How do we change that? And at the end of the day, even if we wanted to change it, does the people who are doing these things, do they want to change? Because if they don't, then nothing's going to change. It's not going to help anything. So my question to you, if you really want to make a change, if you really, really want to see justice being served, how do you do that? I think, and this is just my personal opinion, you educate yourself. You understand how laws are made. You understand what your contributors, your councilwomen and your Senate and your House of Representatives believe in. And you keep people, you let people represent you who believe in the same ideals that you believe in. Otherwise, it's not going to change. We are in a state of emergency. We need some help, okay? And the only way for us to get some help is to help ourselves. If you are willing and ready to learn how to really, really make a change, I encourage you, talk to your local police officers, call your local attorneys offices and see if they can just offer you some pointers on where, point you in the right direction. Attorneys don't mind helping. They understand what's going on with this day and age as well. They understand that we are all at risk, okay, and if we don't do something. So at this point, it's time to offer a hand up, not a hand out. We're trying to gain knowledge, okay, so that we can change things for our children and their children. Otherwise, we're going to be doomed. Keep at it the way we are, that you guys are going. And you're not going to make anything better. You're only going to make things worse. We are already in a national pandemic. We are in a socio crisis. We are in a financial crisis. And we really need to just change the way that we're doing things. So I want you guys to really sit back, take some time, think about what you're doing. Think about what you would like to do. Think about how that change represents a better situation for all of us, not just for you yourself, just not for your person. And then once you figure out that, allow somebody else to realize it with you. And you guys work as a team to fight this thing the right way. Because as it goes now, this is not it.